All right. Hi, everybody. So welcome to those of you who are here and those of you who are watching the recording. I'm so stoked to be sitting here with you all. Um, my name is Rose Slam Johnson. I'm here with my buddy Leo Freeman. We are your co-hosts for this intro, and we're your co-hosts for Love Your Money. Um,
Woohoo.
whoop, whoop. Here we are, and thank you for showing up to be here to potentially have a radically different experience with your relationship to money than you've ever had before. Um, I'm gonna let Leo introduce yourself. I'm gonna let you introduce yourself first, and then I'll go. And then we're gonna give you all a chance to introduce yourselves because we want to know who you are and what's bringing you here. So, Leo, after you, my friend.
Yeah, absolutely. You're not gonna model? I'm gonna model? Wow. Hi everyone, Leo Freeman. I use he and they pronouns. I am currently recovering from gender affirming top surgery, which I had 19 days ago, which I'm feeling really good and happy. And it's the sun is shining in Berkeley. I know, thank you, Claire. And so I'm in Berkeley, California, and yeah, up here in the hills. I have a puppy named Friend who is snoring next to me, though I think Zoom probably edits that sound out. And why am I here? So Slam and I met uh, just within the last year. It feels like we've known each other a lifetime. We do lots of things together. One of those is co-conspiring around personal finance and working with queer people. And so I wear many different hats in many different spaces, but one of the one of my loves is like kind of reinventing, de-jargoning, redefining money and people's connection to money. Currently, I work for this thing called a CDFI, which is a community development financial institution called Seed Commons. We do non-extractive lending to worker-owned co-ops and like small businesses owned by trans folks, BIPOC folks, other marginalized identities. And so that's my day job. But what I'm excited to do here is be able to support folks around personal finance. I'm technically a financial planner, an advisor, but I do a lot of anti-capitalist financial planning, helping people sort of take their own situations outside of capitalism and sort of see how do we kind of use the master's tools to, yeah, kind of, build a loving relationship to your money, to offer clarity, to, can I say fuck shit up? Are you gonna have to edit that out? To fuck some shit up, within the systems that under which we operate. And I'm just mostly so excited to be here. Some of my favorite people are in this room right now, so I will hand it over to you, Slam. But be any here for any questions, and excited to be a part of the course and then today's activity. Back to you in the studio, Slam.
Thank you. Thank you. And I am so delighted to be partnering with you on this. We met through an emerging and evolving economies jam, Leo and I, and yeah, have been jamming on finance and really coming to it with this queer lens. And I want to preface, I work with queer small business owners, and I like to kind of define all three of those words. Queer, so often about who you're sleeping with, and now finally it's about how you actually identify within your gender, and people are starting to understand the difference between the two. And for me, it's also really choosing to take a path that is outside of what conventional society has taught is the right way to do things, because I know my queerness emerged for me because I was in environments where I was like, this doesn't feel good for me. It doesn't seem like it actually feels good for a lot of other people in this room, yet we're continuing to do it that way. And so that has been a big part. That for me was around gender identity. It was around sexuality, and it was just around like kindness, belonging, inclusion. And so that's the piece that I really bring here from a background of what experiences like some stability and some isolation at different phases in different ways. Some around finance, some around class, some around race. Um, and I lived in many different places in the U.S. under and my financial position changed when we moved, both because my family was experiencing the financial ladder and the bootstrap experience, but also because we lived in different areas, and so I watched how our financial position went up or down based on who was around us. And so I think to me that was really fascinating. And one of the kind of most eye-opening experiences I had was when I had the opportunity to go to a private high school my senior year. I thought it was going to be really fun and I was going to make a ton of friends. And instead, I was surrounded by miserable teenagers who were already struggling with alcoholism because their parents, which had a tremendous amount of wealth, had no heart, no love for them. Of course, some families did, and I don't mean to speak to all the families there, but I remember some of my classmates, actually one in particular, who said, my parents give me money, they don't really give me love. And I came from this experience of having my mom, her mother, my grandmother, was a bookkeeper for my grandfather's construction business. So my mom had both the ability to stay regulated while dealing with finance and receipts. I remember buying a pair of shoes and being like, Mom, I don't actually want these shoes, and her opening the filing cabinet, going to the folder and pulling out the receipt and saying, great, we'll take them back. Even though we had maybe had some fights about choosing the right pairs of shoes, the actual returning of it was not the tension, it was the decision making, which is a whole nother story. Hi, Mom, I know you're watching this. So all that to say, like, I had the experience of a range of financial experiences background, and Leo does too, and we'll share more about that as we're going. And have had the fortune of being around people that were able to be regulated while exploring concepts of money, which I've had that experience, and it's been notable because I've also had other experiences where it's like, this is hard to talk about. This is scary. I don't know how much money is in my bank account. I can't look at that right now. I've even had those experiences in my own life in certain times, grown zones, stretch zones, right? And so I say that to like preface why we're here in this room, right? We're here to talk about love your money. We're here to like actually explore the idea of loving your money. I see money as one of 6 forms of energy. We've got money, time, relationship, vitality, joy, and creativity. Okay, this comes from one of my biggest teachers, Maria Nemeth. She wrote the book, The Energy of Money. Those 6 forms of energy, to me, like, can capture most of the experience of life. And so if you've heard the expression, how you do money is how you do your life, how you do money is also how you do your relationships and your time and your creativity and your pleasure. So, if you ever dare you think about how money and sex are related, there might be more there to see than you want to admit. Actually, just a YouTube video on my money metaphors around if money was my lover, where I share that. So if I'll leave that for your YouTube scrolling later. I'm definitely going off on a thing because I'm excited about this, and I want to share it with you all. Okay, so those pieces, I think there's an opportunity here for us to love our money, and one of the ways that Leo and I are coming to this is as a space for you all to be here and to explore it. I go to a lot of money intros and courses and all the things, and what I've heard a lot of people say is like, here's the exact path. First, you're going to do this, and then you're going to do this, and then you plug your numbers into the spreadsheet, and then boom, you have the thing. And those are great, and I'm so grateful for people that have traveled those courses and have made the routes for us to go there. And if you want that exact thing, it's there. It's got a shiny price tag, and you can go on that journey. The unique thing about what Leo and I are doing here is we are building a ship as we sail it. We are going to be tracking, we are going to be allowing what is emergent. We're intentionally doing with a small group of people. There will only be 8 other participants and Leo and I. And it's going to be based on who is in the room and what is alive for them. I could say so much more, but I'm going to pause because I want to hear from you all. I want to hear what's bringing you in the room today. You're welcome to share if anything that's been shared so far has spoken to you. But this is real, like, we're just here to like see what's alive for you, what questions you have. Depending on the timing, we have a little activity we want to do, but also Leo and I are emergent, and we're really here for the people. So anybody want to introduce themselves, you can share your name, your location, your pronouns, and really anything you want us to know about you and your relationship with money. If it's why you're here, if it's what your challenges you're facing, something you love about money, it's all good. It's all welcome. Anybody willing to go first? I'll put those prompts in the chat.
I can go.
Thanks, Monica. Go for it.
Yeah. Thank you both for this offering. It feels really unique. My name is Monica. I'm based in rural California in a very small town called Piscinus. It's about 2 hours south of the Bay Area. And I use she, her pronouns. My relationship to money has been really varied through my life. And I love, Slam, what you just said about like the forms of energy and like time and money, because those are the two that I feel like I've played with the most in my adult life. Like when I have time, when I have an abundance of time and I don't have very much money, or when I feel like more security in the resources, the income that I'm making, but I don't have as much time. It's like and at this point, I'm trying to build a queer small business. And I'm here just to explore what you all are offering. And I do coaching one-on-one with Slam, and it's amazing. So I'm excited to be in a group space with y'all. Thanks.
Thank you, Monica. I just realized I forgot to define small and business, but it's coming in. Right. Anybody else want to introduce themselves?
I can go next. Oh, sorry.
I was going to say, would you want to define small in business? I'm curious what your definition would be.
Sure. Yeah. So I will attempt to do this briefly. I think business is a creative exchange of your gifts. And it generally involves some sort of reciprocity and creation. And I think small is technically a small business is anything under 500 people. I tend to work with folks that are under 15 people in their business. I find that can even if you, well, okay, I could go on. I'm going to stop. That's it. Under 15 people. If you've got a larger business, it's just a slightly different beast, and you're facing different challenges.
Like people as in employees, or people you?
Not clients, but like employees, teammates, consultants. I think if you have a team larger than 15, and we're not looking at just that team, it's just a different organization. If you look at Buurtzorg, which is an example from Reinventing Organizations of a horizontally formed business, they have smaller groups that are about 15 people. I could be totally bonking these numbers, but that's my impression, is that like a collaboration team is about the size of 15. And when you're beyond that, we're kind of talking about CEO and leadership team versus like a solo entrepreneur that is there. I'm realizing that might have been the first time I actually said it that way. So
that's good.
later. Okay. Let's do Claire and then Kian and then Shaun. If you are there, we'll let you introduce yourself.
Cool. I'll have to apologize because I'm gonna have to leave before the end of this session. But I will listen to the recording. So just to introduce myself, my name is Claire. I use she, her pronouns. I'm based up in the Pacific Northwest. I am playing with the titles of business owner. I'm not sure that's how I feel, but it is maybe what I do. And I like to say I'm on a healing journey with money because that's where I feel like I am right now. I'd like to be at a place where I can be a little bit more calm and excited about money. And also at a place where I can feel more aligned with my values and how money flows in and out of my life, and with my family. So I'm excited to be here with y'all.
Oh, thank you, Claire.
Amazing.
Thank you. My name is Kian. I use he, him pronouns. I'm in the Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh territories, so-called Vancouver. I am here mostly out of curiosity. I'm a personal trainer. I've been running a business for the past year, and I'm doing pretty well. Monica, I was really resonating with your time, and like I see time and money as like forms of economies, or I guess, someone can call it energies, whatever word you want to define it as. But I've definitely had periods of my like early 20s of being like, I'm a punk, I'm gonna boycott the economy. And then I realized, well, actually, they don't care about my like $1,000 a month. And so I've been like kind of on a journey of trying to figure out how to find that like a solid balance between like how to live with the amount of free time that I need in order to be a creative, like kind person, and expand internally as well as express myself externally, which kind of requires like a balance between both worlds of, you know, having the resources time wise and also money wise. And I feel like I've actually done I've been doing really well at that. So my goal was to make around 5K a month at no more than 25 hours a week. And I am basically pretty much there. I don't work more than 20 hours a week so far. And I'm at a point though that I'm realizing that the way that I've structured my business will have a financial cap, which I've always been fine with, but I kind of want to expand my ideas or my narratives as to why I feel like I need to have that cap. Yeah, I feel like for where I'm at, I'm in like a very, very solid position. And also I want to make sure that I'm not always aiming for the minimum that I need, and that I want to understand how to relate with money in a healthier way that is based on financial literacy rather than guilt or like my concepts of what it means to be growing money or hoarding money. Yeah, that's all.
Thank you, Kian. Yeah, I've been having some really fun conversations with my clients around like maximum income, and then being like, now that the money has been received, like what else, like, you know, maximum number of billable hours each month. I think that's a really, but also exploring the minimum there. I think that's a really beautiful way you're holding it. And I really appreciate how you're showing up for this big moment. Congratulations on declaring a goal and moving towards it, and having it be connected to your purpose here. So right on. Thank you for sharing that with us, and welcome. I'm glad you're here. Shawan, are you there? You might be like Shawan sometimes. Oh, yep. You want to introduce yourself before I reveal more information than you?
I am here. Yeah, my camera is not working for some reason, but I'm here. Yeah, I'm Shawan, he, him pronouns, based in the Bay, play Ultimate with Slam. I really like how, I really like how Slam has created a very different type of Ultimate game, and I just wanted to kind of see what I didn't really have any idea what this seminar is about, but I think it'll be interesting to see a different type of way of thinking about money. I feel like I don't really talk about money with a lot of my friends or family or whatever, and so you kind of get pigeonholed into like thinking about money in one sort of way, very traditional sort of way. So I'm just here to kind of see what alternatives exist.
Awesome. Thanks for taking the risk and doing 2 Slam activities in one day. Tuesday's Frisbee Day, Tuesday's Love Your Money Day. Though every day's space for both. Okay, I think we should do the activity. What do you think, Leo? Go with the Jamboard. We're like in a slightly different time frame than we were expecting, but I think this is going to be fun. Okay, so we wanted to take you all through a journey where we kind of just explored some shared words, some definitions of words that we've heard around money before. And I'm going to do this by sharing my screen, and I'm going to share this link as well in the chat. You can see all the things. Oh, zoomy, silly zoomy. Okay, so you can join me in this Jamboard. Has anybody? Will you tell me if you've used a Jamboard before? Yeah, mine. Okay, Great. So I'll give just like a little bit of orientation. This is really cool Google feature. There's like a shared slides. So this is the intro slide. And we're going to talk about, and the first thing we're going to do is talk about the word rich. And basically, if you want to, if something comes to mind when you hear the word rich, either a definition or a reaction, you click on this little sticky note right here, and you can write something in there, like not me. Okay. And you can keep writing things like too much money must, right? And then if you click on that link, you'll be able to add sticky notes to this too. So I want to invite everybody to take a moment and just drop things into the Jamboard that come up for you when you see the word rich. My uncle.
Should I be seeing the screen that says rich on it when I click that link?
You should, at the top, you probably see this.
Oh,
And then if you go to the right, we'll go through this. There's a couple words we're going to.
got it. Thank you.
Yeah. So, and we got folks dropping them in there. You can just drop them and I'll move them around unless there's a place you specifically want it to be. You can make it be whatever color they want. However you want it to be. So feel free to add to this as we're going, but I'll just read some of them now. We've got resources, abundance, greedy, not me, I want to be rich, division, tax and eat the. So I can give all my money away, so I can own a house and be safe, access to experiences and comfort. More coming in, the assholes, unattainable, out of touch, too much money must. Okay, so I'm going to invite everybody to take a breath. Experientially versus in comparison. Beautiful. Feel free to come back to this slide as you're going and just drop stuff in here. Okay, the next, and then you can click the little arrow at the top to advance to the right, and just drop in here, bad with money. What comes up when you hear that expression? Bad with money. Let's read through some of them as we're going. Budget, question mark, question mark, question mark. Queer folks, don't know how much I have. Financial illiteracy, parents, fear. Everyone, money is manipulative, judgmental, tying morality with money in a definitive way. Overwhelmed, fear of being broke. Me, binary, no room for diverse definitions of good/bad. Yeah, thank you for adding that. And we are intentionally playing with some words that tend to have a bit of energy with them. Stigmatized, ethics, and moralized. Again, I'll invite you to take a breath. Individualism. Thank you for putting that one in. Never having enough. Yeah. Okay. Now ready to go to the next slide? Good with money. We've got wonderful, they're coming through. Disciplined, with a plan, overcoming scarcity, organized, enough, sharing it with others, financially literate, saving and spending responsibly, making a plan and executing, budget, knowing how much money is in the bank, a plan and goals, responsible, not feeling ashamed, enough for retirement, aligning financial values with personal values. Oh, I love this list. Okay, capitalist. There is enough for everyone. Thank you all so much for playing this game with me. Okay, we're gonna move forward to the next one, which is successful. What does it mean to you to be successful with money? This can be what is true for you. This can be what you've interpreted from other people. Enough. Having enough to live the life you want. Having enough, but not too much. Big house, big car. Being on top of my shit. Having more than others. Financially unburdened. Following a plan. Getting lucky. Sharing resources with community. Having more than enough. My own definition of success. Functional life with abundant resources. Sharing with others. Building a life of abundance. Less worry. Beautiful. Well, thank you so much for engaging in this. So, able to support a life you want to live as well, live along, as well as those you care about within your means and boundaries. Feel free to keep adding these to slides as it emerges. So I just want to appreciate you all for being willing to really explore these concepts, because I think good, bad, successful, rich, poor, all of these words, even though they might only have like 10 to 15 letters in them, have so much blame and shame and guilt and resentment and the sense of victim. I can't do that. I can't make this difference. And even including the concept of success or successful, it is loaded with loneliness and othering, and I can't. And so I wanted to offer to you all another definition of success. And it comes with the invitation of, let's redefine good and rich and wealthy and loving and all the things that come along with how we deal with our money. So again, I bring in Maria Nemeth, my teacher. Her definition of success and being successful with money is simply doing what you said you were going to do with clarity, focus, ease, and grace. So I want to invite you all, actually I'm going to say that definition one more time, because I'm the one who wrote Big House, Big Car, because that was the message I got around how to be successful. It didn't come from my family necessarily. It didn't come from somebody sitting me down and saying, Slam, this is how you're going to be successful. First, you get a big house and then you get a nice car. It came from television and friends and people that I went to college with and people I didn't go to college with and all these different places. And so this definition has been a really big handhold for me as I've built my business, as I've as I've invested in things that I believe in, including myself. It's simply doing what you said you were going to do with clarity, focus, ease, and grace. And I see some comments in the chat. So I'll go clarity, with seeing clearly what is most important to you. Focus is the ability to take small, sweet steps towards your wildest dreams. And ease, my friends, is not easy. It is simply with ease. It's definitely not without effort, but it is with the ease of the willingness in your heart that is as committed as you are to the things that you are most passionate about. And of course, grace, which is the directly linked to gratitude as we go on this journey, which I think is a crucial part of it. In some ways, I think money is simply just an opportunity to be grateful. It's an opportunity to show our gratitude by giving some of that energy that we've received when people are grateful for us to others, to show them how grateful we are for them. So I welcome you to, if you want to drop in your definition of success, you can put it on this board if there's one emerging. But I also want to invite you to just scroll through any of these tabs and just take in what it's like to see these definitions, to kind of shed some light on some words and some meanings that you might have been holding around money. And what do you notice? And we'll give you all, we'll just take a moment to take it in. And somebody wants to share some key takeaways. Yeah, we'll welcome it. I'm just going to scroll through for those that are watching, and then we'll have a moment. Does anybody want to share any key takeaways or ahas that might have arisen in you in this exercise?
I can share one if no one else wants to go. I've done this kind of exercise so many different times, and it's interesting to see in myself the things that are alive come out. You know, oftentimes I'll just kind of like be firing away, like, oh yeah, this is how I feel about this, and I realize like part of my current personal work and like redefining how I view the world and how I move in the world is also redefining like what different words mean. So thinking about the binary of good and bad, but also thinking about the sort of internal reframing that's happening when I'm hearing words like successful or you know, like enough. Whereas, you know, maybe years ago or even just a year ago, before a lot of personal work, and then also really thinking about this destigmatize, even in my own personal journey, is helps with some of the reframing before saying one thing and then being like, actually, I don't view that. Like the big house, big car really resonated with me. Sort of like my family's history is really like working class, and there was always this like class ascension model of like, you know, to be successful meant to like ascend to the middle class. And so just noticing that in myself of like what I view as successful now versus then, and how that's gonna hopefully change over time.
Thanks, Leo.
Yeah.
Anybody else want to share even just a key takeaway or an aha or a surprise, something you were surprised by? You're also welcome to put it in the chat if you don't want to share it on with your voice, but it is lovely to hear from you all. I ran a summer camp for adults called Queer Camp, and as an extrovert, I got a lot of feedback from people to make space for the introverts. So it's okay if it's silent, and it's okay if nobody speaks, because that's a pretty significant exercise. So even if you're just taking it in for a moment, I'm okay with there being a little bit of silence right now.
Well, I'm just noticing like the effect in my body, like from doing this exercise and the energy of it, of just like the desire in me that I see like reflected in all of us in this board through this activity to like have it be different, to have the relationship be different than it is. And like some of that comes through as like really intense judgment of like what it means to be rich, or like, you know, like enough but not too much, like this like constraints around it. And like it's just, I feel this like, oh, we're just all trying to figure it out, like how it could be different than it is. And so I really appreciate the success, the new definition from Maria Nemeth of success, because I feel like that feels like one of the probably many tools that y'all are offering to this in this program, to really like allow that desire to take form in new ways. So yeah, just really tuning into that. Appreciate this.
Thank you. Yeah, and I think I can't wait till somebody tells me they're tired of hearing this, because I'm saying it more and more because it feels more true every time, which is that like as queer folks, our desires were thrown away. They were like, nope, you can't have that want. You don't get to like that person. You don't get to want to be that. You don't get to see yourself in that way. And it's fucked up. Like, it's not true, y'all. Like, you get to be how you want to be. You get to want what you want. And that's true for how you deal with money, because I believe that when somebody is deeply connected to their purpose and their vision, they are committed to supporting others, and that they are going to use their money for good. And that's why I both want to get money in the hands of people that are deeply connected to their purpose and values. And I want to help people find their purpose and values so they can be connected to money and do something good with it. So, thank you for that, for teeing that up, because that is clear and feels important to me. So I want to move us into, because this is an intro, that's a little sampler of some of the ways we're going to play and love your money. I hope you liked it. I hope you got something from it, whether you stick around and come back. Really, this is just part of us. Like we are the crack that lets the light in here, folks. But if you want more cracks, this is it. I'm going to send it over to Leo to give us a little intro to like the arc of the program. And I'm going to support Leo by sharing this fun little rainbow image that we made. I gotta find the right one. Okay, you go for it, Leo.
Thanks so much, Slam. Yeah, absolutely. And we want to make some good space for questions at the end to make sure everybody gets everything addressed. So we'll move kind of quickly through these, but hold your questions or feel free to drop them in the chat as we go through. So we're, as Slam mentioned before, this program is emergent. All of these different sessions we've done between the two of us or separately. At any given time in different programs that we've done, we're just putting together in this arc and in this way to support y'all in this program. But so may not be in exactly this order, but love the rainbow. Thank you for making this image, Slam. I kind of looking at this, the most important session I think is actually not necessarily that you have to come to it, but one of the most important sessions to me is the welcome session. And so I think piggybacking or dovetailing off of what you just raised, Monica and Slam, what you reflected is in a lot of welcome sessions, today's an intro and kind of a sampler, but when we actually move into the program, the welcome is the space where we get to create belonging. And I think belonging and trust are the things that allow us to uncover our desires, especially as queer people. And before I even knew I was queer, before I knew I was trans, I was an anarchist, and I knew that I wanted to question authority and question power. And so when I found my people, when I found a sense of belonging, I was able to uncover my desires more deeply, not just in seeing it in other people, but in being in a room where I felt safe to share and safe to go there. So in the welcome session, we'll work on belonging and trust, get to know each other, sort of start building that foundation for each other. I think that's going to help us get through a lot of, the feelings, and helps like normalize that there are a lot of feelings around here, and building that safe space. So then I think we'll likely from there, we'll move into purpose and do an exercise. Actually, Slam, since this is something that you've done an exercise for life's purpose, you want to chat a little bit about life's purpose? We'll tag team.
Sure, yeah, I can even talk about the green stuff and
Yeah,
you,
that
that's
sounds
kind of how we split it up. And I don't know if I've said this yet, but like I've been working with people as a coach and doing small business coaching, but really like what I helped people do is see what they want and then I help them get it. Whereas Leo has been in the financial planning world and understands how to actually move money and make decisions and do these things that I'm less familiar with, which is why we're partnering. So, and that's kind of we're doing the green is the coaching aspect and the blue is the like get your shit, like do it. We're gonna help you do it. We're gonna, we're gonna hold your hand through it. And that's what I think. It's like you can go to a financial planner, you can hire somebody like Leo, but who's not Leo, who's like, here, fill out the spreadsheet, and then now you know exactly how much money you need in order to retire in X amount of years, and you just have to do it. And then where that Google Doc just like disappears and your life goes on. We're going to help you actually do it. So purpose, values, vision, those pieces are like we're going to help you get really clear on what's most important to you and how you want to be showing up in this life. And then Monkey Mind and Community, we're going to help you see the pieces that are getting in the way and help you reinforce and buoy your dream, your vision with community, with support, and all those pieces that go along with it. So that's the green arc that is complementary of the blue.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah, thanks for that. The reminder also that the coaching is what supports the actual skills. So we'll build a little bit of like a coaching support home, and then the main kind of foundational elements of building a personal financial plan, but also just really like facing your finances as a small business owner are getting clear on where you're at. So a lot of that is what's going out, what are my expenses, how are my expenses being allocated, between personal and business is something that comes up oftentimes for small business owners, or folks that are 1099. How am I separating those things, using different cards, different accounts, just accounting systems. So we'll talk a bit about that in going out. And then also in going out and expenses, like how are your expenses, as we take stock of them, how are they aligned with your values, and where are you, kind of spending that, like you said, Kian, where's that $1,000 going, or where's that, those expenses, what are they actually supporting in community? Then we'll talk about what's coming in, and we'll look at the specifics of what does it look like for a small business owner who might have, less reliable or predictable income, or what are the goals and dreams you might have about, setting a cap. Where are the caps coming from? For me, the cap has always come from scarcity and worth, believing that, like, and that can look both, in my small business practice, but also in my work for nonprofits, even, of like, oh, I don't think I can make more than, X, and so for whatever reason I have that number in my head. Oftentimes it will be my friends or community who are like, I think you can ask for a raise. So different things like that. It could also look like the other way around, thinking about income and being like, actually, I think I can turn down income and turn up a little bit more free time in my life. So getting clear on those things is important. And then we'll move into, toward the end of the course, like, halfway through and on, we'll talk about values aligned investing. So actually using the money portion of your energy to invest, either for, retirement, or for investing in community, sending more resources into, community investments, or your personal loans to folks that you're in connection with, that sort of thing. Like, kind of really taking stock of your investment assets and thinking about your long-term and short-term goals. And then the last skills session we'll do is, because we're kind of looking at, going out, coming in, and investing as earn, save, give. Then the last session for skills we're going to talk about and then work with through community is build, share, trade. So what are ways to use resources or energies that are not just money, or that can kind of replace money in certain ways? What are ways that you can build skills, you can share your resources, you can have resources shared with you, you can trade, and gig economy, you can support through mutual aid. How can you do those things to build the kind of future life that you want to live? And that's all the blue sessions for skills. And then we'll kind of, I think, thinking about like what we, who's this course for, is important. And so looking at this, and when we talk about queer small business owners, as Slam mentioned, it doesn't necessarily have, you are queer enough if you're asking yourself the question, but also thinking about how is your business different than the dominant culture. That's a way that I view definitely queering of small business is sort of saying like, maybe as a therapist, there might be therapists who are like, I go to this practice and I have this very specific, income that comes in. I have this very specific number of clients. And some therapists are like, well, I charge, a sliding scale. How do I plan for having 10 folks come in who are, BIPOC folks who fall in my lowest, range of my sliding scale? How do I find that one, like, wealthy client to, supplement all of those other pieces of income? That's where we get to be creative. And so thinking about that and thinking about outcomes, a lot of those are going to be like your personal goals. It's part of why we're keeping the course small, is how do we personalize, any of that looks like your business looks different than maybe kind of the traditional planning, or personal training or dog walking or therapy, small business. So hopefully you can see yourself in that. And Slam, I think I'm going to hand it back to you. I'm watching the clock. I'm going to make sure that we get a few minutes for Q&A, but do you have anything to add to that?
No, you nailed it. That was great. Thank you so much. Yeah, and I'll just frame, we've got 7 minutes where Leo is still here. I can hang out a little bit longer if folks have more questions. So I think, yeah, if you have questions about the course, there's also like the logistics are all on the website. We meet Tuesdays at noon for 90 minutes. And there's some other add-ons like one-on-one sessions and office hours. But yeah, curious to hear if you have questions, reflections, like what you're landing with. I know there's there's a small group of folks here today. There's also more people watching, so feel free to email us questions or yeah, go for it. Please, questions, thoughts. What's alive in you all? Cool. Okay, so no questions. Okay.
Actually,
Yeah,
I do have a question. So
Yeah.
this is I read that this is a pilot program.
Yes.
Okay. So you've never done this kind of
So
course before?
Leo and I have not presented this particular program before. I've done other group coaching programs, and this is where we're partnering, which is I think going to be the most special part, is that this is not like this is exactly what you do, just plug and play. This is like, no, both Leo and I know how to build systems for people, and we usually do it individually. And so we're like, come in, build your systems with others, because you can watch other people's systems be built and you actually get something from it. One of the coolest things of group coaching is when somebody's being coached, you don't have to be sitting in the coaching seat to get a shit ton from it, Does that make sense?
I'll just add the piece of, a lot of personal financial planning programs are often kind of prescriptive in the sense that, and this is where like it might not be for you, or it might not be for somebody, is where sometimes the prescriptive is super helpful, and sometimes it's super helpful to have kind of what's emergent. Each of these modules is built out, so we just necessarily haven't like linked them together in this way, but we have expense module, an income module, and the outcome of what you're going to come out with. Monica might have a handwritten version of an expense, spreadsheet, but you or someone might have maybe I really appreciate using an app. And so rather than saying you have to use this Google spreadsheet, it's more emergent for people and hopefully more supportive for people in that way.
Did we answer your question?
Yeah. Go. Okay. Awesome.
And there's a whole Q&A too, where folks had lots of questions. It was pretty fun activity as well, where there's dive more into the conversation.
Yeah, highly recommend getting on Slam's newsletter. If nothing else, making sure that you get all the access. There's good 2-minute YouTubes and stuff too that they put out that I always find myself walking away with a good couple of nuggets. All right, my friends. I'm inclined to, unless there's Monica, I can't tell if you're reaching for no, you're good. Okay, cool. And all of y'all know how to get a hold of me. If you're interested in the program, there's I'll put the website link in the chat, and there's a really quick application process. You get a free 30-minute one-on-one with me to help you figure out if it's the right fit for you. So if you have like more specific questions, we can talk about them there. And we start May 2nd. Next week.
Cool. Thanks.
All right,
Awesome.
my friends, thanks for coming. Hope
you.
you have a lovely
Nice meeting you.
day.
Have a great
Bye-bye.
day.
Thank you.
See ya.
Bye.